Are we live? I guess we are live. All right. Welcome, welcome, everyone in the free world. It is yours truly, Carcino here. Yeah, let's get it in. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. Let's get it in. Now, as we're getting it in, let's talk about some things that make a lot of sense and a lot of things that just don't. You see a lot of things on the table that's not usually abundant at any given time, or how others choose to want to proceed with getting things done. It's always some type of blockage or some type of agenda that's attached to it. As they really blocked everything out for a lot of people actually seeing this video, we understand it. It's just how they move and how they operate. But the wild, wild west is what it is, people. The new wild, wild west we're living in, where people will go through extreme everything on the table just to get what they want, just to get their agenda across. They will do every tactic in the book. They will use every method in the book and things outside of the book just to push their agenda over the top. Now, people might say, well, what are you talking about? Well, let's take a look at a history of some of the incidents that has happened in the world. We saw what happened at Ross Elementary, right? And they want to keep talking about the laws. And the law is the reason that this happened. And it's about the safeties and the laws and the laws. And Florida and Texas have been two of the highest states where the GOP seems to be their home base of operations, right? And Florida, after the Parkland incident, had put in a red flag law. Texas was thinking about it, but said no. And the Democrats want this red flag law, which basically sets off a red flag anytime someone is buying excessive amount of firearms or things like that. A red flag law would come up and say, hey, that's a bit of a red flag. Somebody's buying this right away. The way this has been done is, the investigation is still going on into the why of the situation. What proceeded to bring this, full circle? So they have to go back into this person's life for a period of time to understand why such a tragedy took place. But without even discussing that notion or part of it, there's a lot of other things to look out for. Salute, salute, and salute. There's a lot of moving parts here. And when I talk about moving parts, I talk about things that they're keeping from you that seems to be more of the story than what they're letting on to be. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but what I'm looking at is a map. If you see all those red dots on that map, that lets you know all of the things, the incidents, of shootings in Texas, mass, in the last, I want to say, since 2009, right? All of those are red dots. And those red dots, and those red dots represent all of the things that they allowed over all the years. Take a good look at it. Now, the GOP has decorated their funds and finances into not that red flag law, but actually mental health more than the laws. They wanted to put firearms in the hands of teachers more than anything else. The Democrats fight against this because most of the passive aggressive people of this nation seem to flow with the Democrats. The people who want to arm and protect themselves mostly fall under the GOP Republican Party. So, as you can see, this is political. You see this here? 2019, El Paso. Boom, right there. Then right here, you got Midland. Right? Then boom, right there. That was 2022, 24th, the 18-year-old that just happened. That's right by San Antonio. Oh, this is right here in Sutherland Springs in 2017. 25 gone, 45 hit, 20 other people injured at the First Baptist Church. That was in 2017, Sutherland Springs, right? Corpus Christi's, Robtown. 4 hit, 4 gone. Right here again in Taft. 5 hit, 4 gone. At a kid's birthday party. Right? Bay City. 5 hit, 4 gone. 23 shot. 10 gone. Beaumont, Texas. 4 hit, 4 gone. Roommates got into it in an apartment, right? Another one. Dude hit mom, stepdad, and 2 younger representatives at the home, siblings. 4 hit, 4 gone. Harris County, Texas. The girl he lived with, her dad, and the 6 kids. 8 gone. 7 hit, 1 gone. 4 hit, 4 gone. Blanchard, Texas. Fort Hood, Texas. We remember this. Soldier, right? 13 gone. Waco, Texas. 2015. Biker gangs get into it, right? 9 gone. 5 gone in Corsica, Texas. 5 gone. 5 gone. 4 gone. 5. 12 hit. 5 gone. Dallas. 4 gone. Ex-wife. Allen. 2 brothers went ahead and took out 4 family members. Paris, Texas. Unknown assailant hit 4 men who ranged from 18 to 32. Five hit, foregone. 2018, Ponder, Texas. Person entered the home of his ex-wife, hurting her, taking out her 3 kids, then taking out the current boyfriend before taking himself out with a self-inflicted. Now, all of this is Texas. So it looks like Texas is the problem, right? But each scenario is dictated by the actions, right? Supposedly. Should we be focused on the actions or the mental health of the persons? Each one is not connected. So the only thing that's connected is the fact that they had a firearm. But the why does not dictate it. We don't dictate there was a red flag law would have stopped any of those. So what makes it seem like everyone know that the law would have came in and stopped this? And a lot of this stuff, people, I just don't believe. What don't I believe? I don't believe in foolery. I don't believe in nonsense. I don't believe in things that I believe are counterproductive to the actual process of what should be happening. I don't believe in a lot of what they want you to see. And what they show you a lot has been a lot of lies. A lot of these, unfortunately, have been orchestrated. A lot of these are not what they appear to be. And definitely all of them are in no connection to the next. So to say the law is the reason that this is happening, I don't think the law would have prevented any of this, because the people that did this didn't care about going to jail. No one in here that committed these acts seemingly had a care in the world about going to jail. So a law wasn't going to stop what had transpired. They had pretty much didn't care about life or any life at that moment, including their own. People that do acts like this normally don't have a care of their own life or life in general. So what would the law mean to them? People, you got to understand that when you see things on a very big stage, you're starting to see things that don't really make sense to you. A lot of these things have been orchestrated at your expense because of your compassion. They want you to react out of your compassion to make these laws. And sure, I believe they do need to be strict laws for people who are handling firearms. But I'll tell you this, if all those teachers were armed, wouldn't that have been a different situation? If they had armed police at the school, would that have been a different situation? Now, the people who did show up didn't go storming in there. And they've admitted they made some mistakes and some lives were probably cost because they didn't storm there when they got there in less than 4 minutes. Why are these areas seem to always be somewhere that's way out where there's nothing in the world? Like there's no nobody's in the way. This is like a small area where there's a lot of dead road, where there's nothing. And it is just like the people of this small town, people you really don't know, that have really no connection anywhere else that you would know. Where this school is like 99.9% Hispanic, this school. The people in this area is about 99.9% Hispanic. And you know nothing about any of these people. And what was even more alarming is what happened after the fact. That's something that surprised even me, that they would go to a length to explain or even try to explain. I saw something that I never thought I would see on YouTube.
One of the few survivors.
This is what's making the rounds on ABC News. This kid, who just days ago was in one of the most traumatic events in his young life, is on television days later, calm as a cucumber. Look at him. Calm as can be. Gives a very clear and vivid situation about what happened in a classroom. They put this person on ABC television, a child, with his father, by himself, who supposedly was involved in something as massive as what he was in. And he recalls him saying what he did, he played dead, and what the gunman said, and all these chilling accounts. Why is that child on television? The investigation is still going on, and you're already throwing a child who was in a classroom who just saw that carnage? Who apparently took a shrapnel to the knee? You're sticking him on television, and he's as cool as a cucumber? Some that just don't make sense to me. That don't add up to me. Where's the trauma? I don't see it. I don't see any of it. And I'm like, why would they put this child on television right away? Then I had to think back to Parkland, Florida. Parkland, the day of, they're allegedly interviewing one of the parents whose child was supposedly gone in this building. They're interviewing her the day of. And she is calm as a cucumber, running off lines. like like a politician. I'm like, no thoughts about the kid or your daughter and everything else. You're talking about laws and what the politicians and knowing the politicians' names and running off the laws. I felt that very confusing for someone who apparently just lost somebody they loved dearly just minutes and hours ago. I never saw that interview aired again. Now, after that, they had what? The children who survived, right? And they had this group, the Parkland, whatever, right? And they were going out doing interviews. And they looked like, like junior politicians. They seemed like they had political careers ahead of them. They're ready to join the Democratic Party. The way they spoke, they didn't speak like people that went through an event. They went out to Fox News, told everybody how to go and cripple their investors. Went after all the companies that was sponsoring the show to get them to apologize to them. They were doing some powerful things, and they had a lot of powerful help. Now, you tell me, where does it start to make sense, and where does it stop making sense? Because to me, that didn't make sense to me. To see this guy so cool and calm as a cucumber on national TV, and this guy's face is going to be everywhere telling the story and how he wants it to go just so that they can change laws. This is what they do. You think the NBA was going to go play another game in Texas? Golden State would have won by 50 before they let that happen. Not saying that's the main reason why, but I'm telling you, they were never coming back to play another game in Texas. You think Steve Kerr going out there banging on the table wasn't orchestrated? He's just like them. Just the same guy who advocated over in Oakland, marching down the street, that they wanted cops out of the classrooms in Oakland. Steve Kerr was not even in the community of Oakland. He was more in San Francisco, the Bay Area. What did he do, and what did it matter to him if the cops were over there? He wanted to align himself there and be political, just like LeBron. And they say, well, Steve Kerr daddy was, he fought and did all these things overseas. I'm like, Steve Kerr father was warned not to go over there. He was warned to get out while he was there. He was warned of the situation. And before they got out of there and he made his decision, he kept trying to fight the power. They made a decision for him. But he had options to get out. Everybody else don't get that type of chance to get out. He was thinking, nothing's going to happen to me. He was wrong. Now, I'm not saying this kid is lying. I would never say that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying something's not right with the behavior from someone who just went through what somebody like him was supposed to go through in this situation. He seemed pretty lax. He seemed very chill for something that went on the way it was supposed to go on. right? Seemed very chilled. I'm just saying, people, we got to start waking up and we got to start making up our own minds and stop letting television and all this stuff program us. The solution is simple: put security at all schools. If you have armed security at schools, this would not be a problem. Let's look into the mental condition of these people that are requiring firearms. Have you noticed that all of these incidents, there seems to be a chemical imbalance or some type of mental illness going on with the person that's actually doing this? I told you, no firearm ever jumped up and decided to go into a classroom on its own or any school or any place and commit these acts. These are the acts of people. Okay, this is the act of a person, not an act of a society. It's not an act of the masses. This is an act that is clearly, clearly an act of a person who's not mentally well. Now, these people acquiring firearms, now there need to be a tighter restriction to people like that getting firearms. We've always been saying that. If they look into that and see what all these drugs that they are prescribing to these people are doing to these people, then you got to say, okay, why is someone who's mentally unstable getting access to firearms? Why is this person getting access to firearms in their mental condition? Sometimes they go and take them from family members. Okay. But let's look at some of the side effects that these medicines are doing to these people. So maybe some of these medicines are not correct, but we won't say that because now we're going against big pharma, right? They know what these opioids are doing to these people's minds, but they don't care, right? Because that affects a lot of money. So no, let's just change the law because the law is the problem. When I just told you, the people that are doing these acts, they can give a damn about the law because they don't give a damn about life, not their own life. So what they care about the law? They were gonna do what they were gonna do any damn way. So LeBron James, when you want to pick and choose what you want to do, notice what they're not talking about is Buffalo. And that's because of you, Buffalo. LeBron Ramon James, who wants to selectively pick and choose when he wants to get into something. He didn't get into the Tamir Rice situation, saying, I didn't have enough information to get involved in it. Well, you didn't have no information on this, and you got all head over heels, didn't you? Tamir Rice, she said his mother, she said she felt shunned and snubbed by LeBron. And she from Cleveland. She didn't ask you to take a day off work, not show up to your job. She said, at least just wear a t-shirt. How about a retweet? Anything to show that you even care about your own people, LeBron. That's all she cared. She asked you. But you don't get that from him. But yet, y'all run out and support this guy. Y'all go buy his shoes. Y'all do everything. Then, what does this guy do in a tragedy of what just happened in Texas? He wants to go and use that as promotion for his school his I Promise school. He wants to go ahead and promote his school. The school that the taxpayers are paying for, not him. That's it right, Queen. A school that he doesn't put any money into. You do, the taxpayers. But he says his kids, his school. The school just bears his name. He doesn't have anything to do with the athletic. I mean, none of the curriculum that they choose academically. He has nothing to say. Is Isaiah Thomas the face of the NBA right now? We're talking about LeBron James. This is the guy who's out here taking a knee. The one who has the white advisor named Adam, who tells him to get involved when he sees the right situation to get involved, when it's promoting things that he want to get involved in. Hmm. They were majorly they were majorly making actions. I mean, to show a video of you out hugging kids is bad taste. You want to promote your school and you go in there hugging kids to try to promote yourself when there's a tragedy going on when all these people lost their children. To me, that's tasteless. But it's LeBron James. Yeah, he's thinking we all know what the problem is. What is the problem then, LeBron? Please tell us. I would love to have this debate with you. We could talk this. Me and you, LeBron. Let's talk this. But you wouldn't do that with nobody because you know damn well you're gonna run right out of the damn room. Because we're gonna get to you, we're gonna get to China, we're gonna get to everything involving you. Because he's with all those passive aggressive people. We shouldn't have these weapons. If you don't have these weapons, tell the criminals not to have them. If the criminals don't have them, then civilians wouldn't have them. They just want to go home to their families. That's all. People just want to get home to their families. At the end of the day, that's what everybody wants. Uh-oh, they doing some type of what are they doing here? Now they don't like the video no more. Wow. Screw them. Because I said the word LeBron James and the truth. Oh, well. Of course, because it's spreading. See, they thought they could control it. Chicago thought they could control it by putting it in one area. People got family members. People could move around. Crime will always grow and spread. It's not something that's going to be in one area. If people are seeing people with money go somewhere else, they're going to want to go get that money. They're going to start taking cars, everything. I'm telling you, they don't care out here anymore. That's what I'm saying. Violence is gonna be violence. If you take away firearms, they're gonna come with knives. You take away knives, they're gonna come with sticks and stones. Violence will always be violence. You're gonna have to make a decision. This is about drug control. The people that's out here, they're mentally gone from all these opioids out here. They're making them feel like they Superman, and they empathy, the actual thing that makes you govern wanting to do something to somebody, even somebody you don't like, saying, "Hey, I don't want to go to jail. I ain't gonna throw my life away for that person." So the common sense level that comes in and makes you say that naturally is blocked when you take some of these drugs that they give you for other conditions. And sometimes they take these drugs just to be taking them. But we ain't concerned about that because that affects big pharma. Notice this whole video was monetized all the way until I started talking about big pharma and opioids. Everything else was a go until I said that. Then I'll start getting this little alert. Now they want to limit the video. Now they're gonna call it what they're gonna call it disinformation or something crazy. How? A weapon, I've never seen a weapon make a mind up and decide I'm gonna go anywhere and start taking people out. We have not designed one to do that yet. We don't have the Terminator running around out there. But someone had to program the Terminator. He was running on a program, so it was told to do something by somebody else, right? None of these weapons are going to jump up and go and do anything. It's the people. People harm people, not the weapons. People do that. People make the decisions on what's going on. People are making these decisions. But they're telling you don't hold the people responsible. Let's hold the weapon responsible. Where does this make sense to people who think, to people who have a brain? We're going to hold the weapon. The weapon is at fault. Let's blame the weapon, not the people. The weapon and the law is the problem. And let's get celebrities to say it. Let's get people banging on tables. When is this going to stop? Enough is enough. It wasn't enough with Buffalo. Oh, it was 10 elderly black people. They had to be elderly? Oh, so they I guess they're supposed to get what they're supposed to get. They're elderly. They were gonna go anyway, right? Jesus Christ. Y'all don't see the propaganda machine at work. That's why I'm like, man, I don't believe none of it. To tell you the truth, I don't believe hardly anything they tell me on the news anymore. That's what I said. I said, if this is real, I feel sorry for all those people who lost their children and everything. I can't, I just don't believe hardly anything they say on the news, especially when I'm seeing stuff like I'm seeing right now. Fake outrage. Nobody seemed to be concerned about the children that's lost. They go immediately to a law and start spewing propaganda from the very day it happened. No one's focused on the children. No natural response on what would happen if this was children. Like, are you kidding? People going right to script. It's just ridiculous. It just don't seem real. Like, if I'm a parent, I'm not going on camera like that, crying and holding pictures and mm-mm. The day after, the day after, I could see some months or some time that went by, or we trying to find the person that did it, and then you're trying to say, help find my this is what he did to my, you see that right away, but this person's already been caught and gone. So why are y'all doing that? Because if that was a child of mine, I would feel like I failed my child, period. So to protect them. So I'm not gonna be on camera. I'm on a rampage. It'll be a whole different thing. I want to know who did what happened. They got him cool, but I'm looking for people that he knew. People who probably sold it to him. I'm gone. I'm on one. Gone. I'm like, look, the media, y'all too. I probably been pop one of them. It, I'm saying it's going up. I ain't got the type of emotions to be sitting there conducting an interview and talking about laws and well, the law of this and then governor da da da. Da. I'm like, you know him? I ain't got time for all that. My emotions is too high right now. You got to start doing stuff like plotting for burials of your child. Man, that's too much. And then you already sitting people in front of cameras just 2 days after. It's just that don't seem real. Where they do this at? Yeah, YouTube don't want me talking like this. They don't want me to say it, but I'm saying it because I feel like saying it. It need to be said. So I'm always gonna give you the real, but I gotta get out of here, man. Love, peace, and hair grease. Shouts out to that Kwame Brown Bust Life. Thank you, man, for being honest and speaking the truth, even when they don't want you to speak the truth. What's up, Q? I see you. Thanks, Queen, for showing up. Thanks for everybody who super chatted, because that's the only way you're gonna get any revenue off this video. They're not finna do anything. So thank you guys for that. Anybody who wanna I don't know if they gonna super thanks this one, but you can super chat probably later. But for everybody who did do it, thank you. I appreciate that. Patreon, yeah, we already did that on the Patreon when we went hard in the paint on Steve Kerr and LeBron James yesterday. Exposed all his lies. They cut Super Chat off of this video. I figured they would. Dirty birdies, boy. Dirty birdies. That's what they do. So maybe there'll be a super thanks button, and you guys could hit the super thanks button. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it went through. There it is. I got it now. He's like, there's the test. It came through. Why is LeBron from Akron? And Akron has the highest eviction rate in the whole state of the highest eviction rate in the whole state of Ohio. He didn't retweet. He didn't text about it. Nothing. He didn't say anything. He didn't bring awareness to it. LeBron did nothing. So they're okay with bringing 10-year-old people on TV after this just happened. So before we leave, since they did all that, we're going to give them some more smoke. Since they want to play games, let's play. Let's go all the way. We going all the way. Oh, if the two of us don't want it, I'll leave my mind on it. Starting today, we going all the way. Yeah, here we go. We going all the way. Let's take a look at another survivor. Another 10-year-old survivor. Does this look like somebody who just 2 days ago, was in the most dramatic situation of human being? They would be in trauma. Why are they putting 10-year-old children on the news to tell the story? And do these children look like they went through any type of things that they're talking about? Look, they in the park laughing and playing. Man, you got to start reading between the signs, people, man. This here, I'm telling you, it speaks for itself. When you start seeing these actions happen, you got to start asking questions like, how low could you go to try to, because they play on your emotions to get you, the people, to come out and do all this stuff. What is their motive? Laws. Control the laws. Vote people out of office. Control. That's what it's always about. Control. T, it's already up there. If a child, I've seen a child who had seen some horrific things. They didn't act like that. We talking night terrors. Scared to go outside, scared to do anything. They got to go through therapy. And that was seeing one person life taken in front of them, their own mother. That was my cousin who was murdered right in front of her child. So I know firsthand what it was like for a child to be in that situation. She was sitting in the driver's seat, and her child, who was 3, was in the seat next. And he actually got hit in the arm and broke his arm. And she drove off wildly trying to save his life. And that was the last act she ever did. Now, I know firsthand what it's like when a child is in that situation. They don't act like that. For someone who's been in a classroom with 19 other people were laid out, including a teacher, and 2 days later they're on television, they're not acting like that. They're not even going on television. Why, as a parent, you'll be putting the kid who didn't get attacked after seeing all that, putting them on television? That just don't make sense. And they're pushing an agenda while on the television. So they're gonna not like this video because this video promotes for you to think for yourself and not be fooled by the television and the news because they lie more than anybody on the face of this planet. Tell, lie, vision. It tells you right there. Tell, lie, vision. That's exactly what it is. So they don't want you to use common sense. They want you to use your emotion, your pain, and your heart and your sympathy. And you look at that and go, oh my God. And because they play off your emotions, they get you to react and do things and vote for people that you shouldn't vote for, put people in office that you shouldn't have voted for, tell you somebody's evil when they're the evil ones. They worse than anything that they telling you about. This is how they get you all the time. We just watched riots in the streets that were orchestrated. People were being paid money to do stuff, break up stuff in their own community, orchestrated. People were setting bricks out so that they can grab them and use it to throw and damage places. We saw these things orchestrated. It was proven it was orchestrated and already set up for us. This man, he said it was crisis actors. Right now, I have a hard time believing a lot of stuff on the news. That's why I just can't trust it. You can't trust it. You can't trust it. That was the first time I knew not to trust the news. I saw they reported on something that happened in our neighborhood on a car accident. And I don't know why it was even newsworthy, but they decided to cover this on the news. And I'm like, it was like this person pulled out a gun and I'm like, that is not what happened. First they said they were walking. And I'm like, how did they mess that story up? Nobody was they got out the car. It was a car accident. They had totally went away from that and said that the driver got out on foot with a firearm and started firing at them in the accident. I'm like, that did not happen. There was no shots fired. What are they talking about? I was like, the news just lied. I was like, because we were right there and we knew what happened. It was like they were finna fight. One person did have a gun on them. They were arguing over the car accident, and then dude had warrants, so he got the hell out of there on foot. The cops was called. He ran out of there because he had warrants. It had nothing to do with no shooting. Nobody was shot at all. Dude who had a gun on him, like he started hearing the sirens, he was going on foot because he got warned. They lied. And then I'm like, they just made up a whole story saying that this dude was on foot. And I'm like, no, it was a car accident. How you skip over the car accident? He got out of the car. There was an argument with the people. And then they got up and he ran off once he started hearing sirens. The other guy, because he had warned. He had papers on him. He knew he couldn't be in nothing. He just took off. But the dudes had the story all wrong to fit some type of violence in the city agenda. That's right. Tell live vision. That's exactly what it is. So I'm gonna get out of here for real this time. And I gotta deal with the aftermath. Don't expect to see a notification for a while.